got a chance to see the upcoming film, The Threesome. Yes, that's right. Let's talk about it right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional board game. I am your host, Frank Zanka. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker. And yeah, I want to start with, first of all, I got invited to this film, and it was a blind screening, so I had no idea what I was going to see when I walked in the door. And I want to start with a caveat or a disclaimer, just saying that this film was not made for me. I was not the target audience for this film, and therefore everything that I say you have to take with a grain of salt, okay? So with that being said, this is a drama, okay? It has romantic comedy elements inside of it, but for the most part, it is a drama, okay? And there are, scattered throughout the theater, of course, there were couples. For the most part, it was couples that were there. And I think for the most part, the women really enjoyed it. And with that being said, that's why I'm saying that I think that the target demographic is going to like this far better than me, okay? So there are a few chuckles in there for the romantic comedy side, but for the most part, it is a drama. Okay, so I would have preferred, like, I like romantic comedies for the most part. I like Heathers, which I don't know if you call that romantic comedy, but I like Heathers. I like Harry Met Sally. I think Harry Met Sally is a classic. So there are a few. My favorite romantic drama is The Time Traveler's Wife. I love that movie. So it's not like I'm against romantic films. It's just that I prefer films, and I don't really want to give anything away because there are probably some people that are going to go see this film. But okay, I'll put it this way: La La Land. Okay, and a lot of people really liked that movie. I hated it. Okay, I hated it because I felt like I wasted my time. Okay, because the romance really didn't work out the way I felt it should, right? So I know a lot of people say, well, it diverted our expectations, you know. Well, great. I don't go to the movie for people to divert my expectations. If there's a thread and an arc, and that arc does not go in a way that the entire film was built up for, I feel like I was wasting my time. So, with that being said, let's get into the cast. So this was directed and written by two men, which I was very surprised when I went to look at the credits at the end and to see that it was a director. His name is Chad Hartigan, of which I've seen nothing. He's a Spanish guy, from Spain, and I have never seen anything that he has directed. Nothing. And then Ethan Ogilvy, this is his first writing credit. This guy's a producer of remastered stuff. So you have that. So you have two guys that are writing a very, very feminine movie, as far as I'm concerned. This is for sure a feminine movie. I'm confused about how this feminine movie came out of two guys. But whatever, If it makes women happy, that's all that matters, okay? The other problem with this film is that and this is for a distribution side. Again, I missed the very beginning because I got there a little late, but I didn't see the opening credits. So I didn't see who distributed it, okay? So this stars Zoe Dush. The most thing that I've seen her in, she's been in a pile of little things, so you're gonna like recognize her when she's on the screen, but it's mostly for television. She was in the second Zombieland film. No names. There's absolutely zero names in this. And then Jonah Howard King, he was just in the last I Know What You Did Last Summer film, the one that just was in the theaters recently. And again, I didn't even recognize him from that. The guy is like completely unrecognizable to me. And then Ruby Cruz makes the triangle, and she was from the very failed Willow TV show that that Disney wiped out of Disney Plus because it was so bad. So I don't know how well this is going to do, because when it comes to dramas and most dramas, comedies, things like that, especially romantic comedies, you have to have a named star in there to draw people. You have to. And especially for distribution. That's why I'm very surprised. This one aired at South by Southwest, I think, last year. There's no named stars, so I don't really have high hopes for this film at all. I mean, look what happened to Ojai. You know, I don't think anybody went to see that thing. I think this is better than Ojai. I'll tell you that. And but anyway, so the film is about a guy that's kind of pining after a girl that he had sex with like years ago, just once though, but you know, she's had her own problems, whatever else, but they never really got together. But I guess to him, he feels like she's the one that got away. So he's been single for a while. This takes place in Arkansas, by the way. It was shot in Arkansas, which I'm very happy about too, because that shows you that all the independents are shooting utilizing crews from the United States. Meanwhile, all these big studios that are spending hundreds of millions of dollars are all shooting outside the country. Just take that into consideration. So right now, the film industry, as far as production is being concerned, is being held up by independents. Okay? Just keep that in mind. Okay, so it takes place in Arkansas, and so you have this guy, Connor, that, again, is played by Jonah Howard King. And he is pining off from Olivia Capitano, who is apparently Italian, although she's played by Zoe Deutch, who's definitely not Italian. But and she has an ex who's played by Josh Segarra, who is played the villain in Arrow. That's the best thing I know him from. So he's married. So she was having an affair with a married guy, and who had a vasectomy, okay, which becomes more important later on in the film. I'm just giving you the setup now. This is just a plot. This has nothing to do with the... I'm not going to give away any secrets here. Of course, we have a gay guy in there that is the bartender, and his name is Greg, and he and Connor are like best friends, okay? And they're constantly teasing one another and things to that effect. This is, again, is the first 2 minutes of the film. Ruby Cruz's character, Jenny, is being stood up at the bar, right? So Greg talks Jonah into going to talk to Jenny. Meanwhile, Olivia is there as well and is fighting with her ex. And when he shows up, when Connor shows up, she's kind of piqued. But meanwhile, now he goes and talks to Jenny, and when she sees that there's, you know, some chemistry there, Olivia runs up to the table and injects herself to the point where they all three of them go out together. They end up having a threesome. That is literally the first 5 minutes of the film. So, and I'm not going to give away anything more than what's in the trailer, but that continues to the point where both of them end up pregnant by him. So, and he wants to be with Olivia, and Jenny's kind of in the way. And that's the basic plot. Okay? So, again, that's the first 5 minutes of the film. And everything else is the drama of this threesome and the baby mamas and the baby daddy and everything to that effect. Okay? So that's the basic plot of the film. Before we continue, though, remember, too, that I am a writer myself. But give me a like here. Give me a thumbs up if you can. If you can, subscribe, please do. And if you can share this video out there, that'd be great too. But definitely ring that bell and notifications will come up. Also, check out my stuff on Amazon. You can just type my name in, or there's a link in the description below. As well as my 4-novel quadrilogy, which is a sci-fi. So if you like Star Wars, Star Trek, Guardians of the Galaxy, or anything to that effect, you'll love this. It was made into a board game, an RPG, graphic novel. It's also on Audible. All my books are also on Kindle, and you can also check out my YA fantasy novel called Tales of Ravenor, the Iron Witch, which if you like dragons and you like magic and all that other stuff, you're going to love that one. It's got some twists and turns in it as well. And now I also just launched this past weekend my new graphic novel called Fairy Tales of Terror, where I have a psycho Cinderella, I have a murderous Captain Hook. They come out of the books, they're running around New York killing people, they have a nefarious mission involved, and out of the book also comes Tiger Lily from Neverland. She hooks up with the bookstore owner, which is the nexus of everything, and they're trying to chase them down and stop them from doing whatever they're doing, which is actually a mystery at this point. So there's some fun involved, and I try to stick to the characters, even though I'm putting a twist on it. But the artwork is phenomenal. Of course, not done by me, but done by actual artists. And you can definitely check out the QR code here, link in the description below. We're about to go past $3,500 already in just a few days. So it is fully funded. All right? But definitely jump into that and take advantage of that. I do sign them as well, so they become collector's items, all that good stuff. All right, so let's jump back into the threesome. The poor guy. I do feel bad for Connor's character. He of course, made some bad decisions. I mean, some bad decisions. But my other problem with it is that I liked Jenny better than I liked Olivia. Okay? I think that Connor and Jenny had far better chemistry as actors than Olivia and Connor did. And that skewed the film for me. And you tell me, once you see it, you tell me what you think of who had better chemistry. I also think that Jenny was prettier, and she's definitely more voluptuous for sure. I think she's sexier for sure. But anyway, so all of the little pieces and parts that went to this, it's basically a very, very talky movie because it's, okay, they're in this situation here, and we have character A that has problems with this. We have character B that has problems with this. We got character C that has problems with this. And all these characters are, kind of revolving around, and they're having conflicts with one another. Whether it's, I'm not ready to commit, or it's I'm in love with you, but this other person, I have to commit to her as well. And it's, it's all these little bits and parts, and how the parents are involved, and, so it's all these very, very conversational drama. So I'm fighting you, we're having this conversation, we're having, this discussion, or we're openly having an argument. And that's the basics for the film. Is I'm having an argument here, I'm crying over here, I'm trying to make a decision over here. That's the entire film. And for me, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. So I didn't feel fulfilled by the end at all. because there really was no proper ending to this thing, unless it ended up like the Robert, what's his Walton, one that created Wonder Woman. Unless it was like that. That was probably the only ending that I could have lived with, is if they all got together and made one big family. And because that's how Walton was, that created Wonder Woman. He had basically two wives. So I guess they'd have to move from Arkansas to Utah to have that happen. But anyway, I thought that for the most part, the acting is very good. I had no issue with the acting because these actors are thrust into these very odd situations that I'm sure they didn't have in real life. It wasn't like they could pull from experiences in real life. But I got to say that Zoe Deutch was able to cry on contact, man. She did a good job. The one that plays his mother, I don't think she was a very good actress. I think that maybe she was somebody that somebody knew and brought her in. Everybody else I thought was really good. In fact, Josh Segura's character, who's like I said, I saw him as a villain. And in here, he's kind of the outlier villain also, because, he's a married man cheating on his wife, but he gets all emotional. I thought that was pretty funny. I thought he did a good job of the comedic side. Now, is it worth seeing? It depends. It depends on what you like. So, if you like these romantic dramas about baby daddy and, multiple baby mamas and stuff like that, yeah, you're going to like it. If that sounds like a big drone for you, then no. And even there's nothing there for the guys at all, because with a name like the Threesome, you would think that there would be nudity in it. There's no nudity at all. None. No sex scene at all. We had more nudity in Caught Stealing than we did this. I think that was a mistake too. At least give the guys something. The budget may have been too small though to have paid the girls to be nude. But I guess there was that. But so there's not even that for the guys, Every time they start kissing or whatever else, it just cuts away. It just cuts away. I guess the biggest amount of naughtiness is Zoe Deutch's character. She was. I guess they talk after her and Connor talk after the next morning, kind of thing. And she says, "Oh, you weren't saying anything when I was co-sucking your cock," or something like that. That's about as dirty as this thing gets. At least give the guy something, man. That's all I got to say. But even for a date night, it's too awkward. It's too awkward to film because, yes, there's no sex scene, but there's all this build up to it, and I felt a little squirmy, and I wasn't even with anyone. So it is a little bit awkward for a date night type movie as well, which is going to make the guys feel a little awkward. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. As far as my rating, I'm probably going to stick with what IMDb has because it is above average. It's an above average film, mostly because of the acting. Because I got to give them credit. So I'm going to say it's like a 6 or a 6.5 on a high end. Probably more like a 6 for me. Now, some of the women might think it's more like a 7.5 to an 8. So anyway, that's why I'd like to hear from some of my female viewers and see what you guys think about it when you see it. All right? Well, that's it from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Remember to give me that like, give me that thumbs up if you can. Ring that bell, ding, ding, and subscribe. And share this video out there. Also, check out my stuff on Amazon. Type my name in or click the link in the description below. And check out Fairy Tales of Terror, Help us get to that 4,000 mark. QR code is here. Link description below. It's just a fun little book with fairy tale characters doing odd things. All right. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Have an awesome week.